Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you're all keeping so well. I'm going to hold your attention for about 30 minutes if you're up for doing that today. I want to start off by extending a massive welcome to, I think it's about 70 new people that have joined our group in the last week. So you're very, very welcome. Many of you that joined last week joined in the middle of one of our phenomenal masterclasses. So you would have come into this big wave of energy saying, what's this group all about? And maybe you're just sitting back for a little while and taking notice. Well, this group is where myself and my team get to really show a little bit of what we do in an academy that I run. It's called the Academy of Thinking into Results. And in the academy, we're working with, I think, about 73 people at the moment, from predominantly from Ireland, but from Great Britain and from the United States and Australia and New Zealand and many, many places. And together we're studying personal development, but based on really a lot of the classic type of methodologies around thinking and turning thoughts into things. I was always a big fan of thoughts becoming things. I love the books Think and Grow Rich and As a Man Thinketh. And then I found out about this gentleman called Bob Proctor, who is probably the best student of this material that's alive today. He's been 60 years following these classic books and helping people to really turn their life around by asking a very important question. What do you want? Well, last September, I was very lucky that a lady kind of wandered into our group, a beautiful woman called Avril Smith that you're going to hear from in a moment. She's currently in the green room. And I was working with Avril on Wednesday. We were having a call, and one thing after another came along. And she's a great student and a very confident woman and a very kind woman. And, you know, it's great. It's great kind of investing in yourself and having a coach, but you really have to listen and follow the lead. And I gave her a nice little gentle push in the right direction on a couple of little bits and pieces. And she's always trusted and done exactly what I asked her to do. And this week was great. It was just the next day after the next day we were in chat. I mean, it's only Friday and we chatted Wednesday, but all these little wins started to happen. And I says, Avril, we're going to take it to the next level. I want you to start bringing the story out a little bit more into the platform, into the world a little bit more, because you'd be surprised who's following us, who's listening, and I think they can really help. So maybe that's you that's tuned into this. When you hear her story, I think you're going to really want to help. And even if you don't think you can help, you're going to want to, because she's such a wonderful lady with a massive heart and a massive intention, and she's going to do great things with her goal. But I'm not going to tell you about it. She is, and I'm going to bring her on right now. So wherever you are, add in your comments, and I'll read them out shortly. To Avril as well. It'd be great to send a bit of love. I know we've got lots of our academy clients tuning in as well to support her, because she's so loved and valued in our community. She's a great energy, and as people often say when Avril speaks, how can I follow her? So without further ado, let's bring her on. Here we go. Hi, Avril.
Good morning, Declan. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all well.
I think everyone's keeping great on this lovely sunny Friday down here in Kerry. What's it like up in Dublin?
It's a bit grey here today, Declan, but it's dry, so we're grateful for that.
We are indeed. So come here. Let's talk a little bit first of all, Avril, about where you were, I suppose, last August, September. How did we show up in your life?
I had a deep feeling that there was more to me than I had currently achieved. Mm-hmm. I had a desire to explore new opportunities and to personally develop myself. Mm-hmm. Up to last August, I was just plodding along. I went to work, I came home, and the next day I did the same thing, and the next day I did the same thing. To be honest with you, I was stuck in a rut, a comfort zone with little excitement or innovation. I was looking for something to motivate me and to stretch me to a new level. And by accident on Facebook, I found TIR. I found Declan and his team and the academy. Mm-hmm. I knew nothing about them, but as soon as Declan started masterclass, I was tuned in daily. I was empowered by Declan's presentations, and I felt he was talking directly to me all the time. Mm. The faith over fear class struck a chord. But the following day, when you moved Declan into decision making, this moved me onto a much deeper level. I now felt you were talking to my soul.
Wow. Mm.
I knew I had let lots of opportunities pass me by previously. And I kept thinking, I can't do that. I'm not able to do that. I can't afford to do that. And for the first time, that lesson resonated with me. And I realized it was my lack of decision making that was holding me back. I had to start being decisive if I wanted to stretch myself and to explore new avenues. Declan, you warmed my enthusiasm instantly. I knew you were the right coach for me. Your voice throughout the masterclass, it felt sincere, honest, confident, and understanding. I knew you had all the qualities of a good leader, and immediately I made the fastest decision of my life. I signed up for the course, determined to be a good follower. So that was my reason for joining TIR. It was to find myself. And I had confidence in you, and I knew you could stretch me to where I needed to go.
Yeah, well, Avril, look, I really appreciate that. You put some preparation into that, I gather, and you are a good follower. And I think one of the things that you see in me is that I don't always allow people to be completely comfortable. So I said to you yesterday, now, Avril, look, I don't want you talking about myself or the academy. This is about you. So yeah, thank you for making me a bit uncomfortable and saying nice things. So you didn't follow the lead in that one. You went out of the comfort zone. No, I really appreciate it. I appreciate your kindness.
It's nice to take you out of your comfort zone sometimes, Declan.
Yeah, well, look, fair enough. I'll take that. I was there. I was listening to you, and I was like, "She's such a devil." Because, like, no, it's really nice of you to say all those things. I really appreciate it. Bob Proctor, our mentor, he's big on saying, "Listen, don't go drinking your own bathwater." He was like, it's got nothing to do with you. You're just literally helping them and that type of thing. And I like that too, because people can get carried away with themselves. There's a real strength in humility, and it really helps you to stay focused. So look, there are times I definitely stop. I stop and think for a minute, and I look at the client list and I'll scroll through and I'll kind of go, yeah, you're doing a good job, buddy. Keep it up, So anyway, we'll move on from that. But thank you so much, Avril, for your really kind words. And you know what? I know I play a part. We've got an excellent community as well. And I just want to let you know that some of them are here tuning in to send you some love. Mr. Handsome himself, Alan McCormick, says, lovely, Avril, very helpful lady. I always enjoy our chats. Leanna's here as well, and Sheila. Megan's here. Laura's watching in. Your dear friend Laura. I know you guys have plenty of contact with email and various things. She's mad about you, and I know it's mutual. And Sheila's here, and I think actually Sheila reached out to say, what's this fella all about, back in her beginning of her journey as well, and you were very kind to allow Sheila to make a good decision as well. So here we are. But Avril, thank you. All the attention's back on you now, my dear. We had a call on Wednesday, which I think you probably presumed was just going to be a bit of a catch-up and letting me know how you were getting on. But I was listening with my ears and with my heart, and I was like, how can I help? How can I help? What can we do? And you're very convincing. And I was kind of saying, no, there's something else here. I need to give her just the slightest little push in the right direction. So Avril has the majority of a book written. And I think that was on hold. When you became a client, you acted fast, and it allowed you to be part of a group that I was working with on a little bit more of a private basis, right? And you christened yourself the Cherry Blossoms, all these wonderful women. Yeah. So I had the pleasure of spending every Wednesday morning with you guys for about 12 weeks. And in that time that I spent with you, you started to talk about this book. So tell me a little bit more about the book.
One of my goals came to me through you, thanks, Declan, when I was 5 weeks into the course. I really wasn't sure what direction I was going in, and you said to me, dig into your creativity. You must be good at something. What are you good at? And I remember saying to you, I can sing and I can knit. And you kept saying, is there anything else you're good at? And I said, well, I write. And you said to me, why don't you focus on that? And that's when the idea the seed planted, and I started thinking about the book. And the book that I have just written, and I've just completed the first draft only a couple of days ago, it's based on our life story. My younger son, Michael, was born with Down syndrome. And I found it very, very hard to get any resourceful information from Michael once he reached a certain age. Like there were loads of books out there for the early years and early intervention, but they stopped. Once they hit the teenage years. Yeah. So my book is Growing Up with Down Syndrome. It's based on Michael's life story, really, his achievements, his disappointments, his awards, his like how he has been able to accomplish so much in his years. And I think it's a lovely book, and there's a lot of information for people following in our steps, which will show them where the choices are and where there really are no choices.
Yeah.
As a parent, you have to be vigilant and to look out for your child, and you must think what's best for the child, for your own child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd finished the book, and I was very pleased last weekend. I'd worked very hard to do draft one, had my coaching call with you on Wednesday, and you said to me, well, what are you going to do now? And I said, well, I don't know. I have to think about that. And you kept saying to me, what are you waiting for? And I said, well, I don't know really. I need to get the cover done and I need illustrations. And it was the paradigm kicking in, the excuses. I was procrastinating. And you said, go and make that call. You have a few people you want to ring and go and do it now. So it was, I said to you afterwards, it was like going to confessions and you were giving me my penance. Here I was now in the middle of a terror barrier, having to make calls, and I wasn't 100% confident how I was going to approach it. But anyway, I took it all on board. My first port of call was to Dunnes Stores. Dunnes Stores employ Michael on a part-time basis, and he's been working with them for 2 years, and they have been amazing employers.
Very good.
So I had been thinking Dunnes would be a wonderful outlet for distribution with over 160 outlets in Ireland. If we could get the book promoted through Dunnes, it would be a lovely channel to start with.
When we get the book promoted through Dunnes?
When we get the book promoted through Dunnes. Thank you, Declan.
I know. Yeah.
So my phone call to Dunnes, I got on yesterday morning, looked for the CEO. She wasn't in the office. I didn't expect she would, but I got passed on to her assistant, which was brilliant. And we had a long conversation, and she explained to me that, there were procedures, but because Michael was an employee of Dunnes and because I had made the proposal to them, could I put it all in writing and email it into her, and it would be taken on board at director level next week. So I've done that. I completed the proposal yesterday evening and I've emailed everything into Dunnes Stores. So fingers crossed now.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, we find that there is a ripple effect. So that was Wednesday. And, I think I'm not going to go back into my WhatsApp now because I know there's people listening, but I think it was probably an hour after the call. You text me something and I was like, make the call, because I think your paradigm had almost talked you back out of it again. I talked to the girls or there was something and I was like, no, now. And I'm not that pushy always, but it was very much an intuition. It was like, this needs to happen now. So you made the call pretty much the next day. Was that right?
Yeah, the next one.
Yeah, but you went straight for the CEO to speak to the lady and she happened to be there, but you didn't get that connection through. But, you next time. But look, this is going to jump off their page the next day in this boardroom. I'm pretty sure it will. Now, the next thing I want to say to you is it was the following day, kind of unrelated. Well, not unrelated, obviously it's related to the book, but not related to Dunnes Stores. Something happened in yesterday as well.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, about 2:15, an email came in from one of Ireland's leading publishing companies asking me to submit a manuscript for the book and a couple of chapters, and that they were interested to have a look at it. So that was great. So that was really like once it had gone out to the universe and the call had been made to Dunnes Stores, everybody is waiting for this book now.
Yeah. Well, I've been following my intuition on this all week, and just as I'm listening to you now, I got a hunch, and I'm going to say it live, right? Wouldn't it be interesting to send it to another publishers and get a bidding war going on, and tell them, look, Dunnes are looking at it, and get a bidding war going, and who knows? It just came to me whenever I know my wife is a writer, so I know how this business works, and my mother-in-law had a bookshop, so I know a little bit about how it works. But anyway, look, we'll move on from there. This is bigger than sales. It's bigger than volumes. There's a real message here, Avril, and there's a lot of people out there who need the content of this book. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about it. I'd like to hear more. What has been a big learning for you in writing the book? Like, what type of challenges do we out there not know about that you, as a parent of somebody who goes, from children into teenage, into adulthood, like, what are we not aware of that is needed out there?
I suppose, like every child, we as parents tend to shield them up until they finish primary school.
Yeah.
And once they finish primary school, your children do tend to become more independent, and they're able to make a lot of choices themselves, or say, Mom, I want to do this, Dad, I want to do that. And you go with the flow. In our case, once we finished primary school, and Michael did complete normal primary school, and it was a big achievement because he was the first Down syndrome child in Blackrock to do that. So that in itself was a big, big achievement. Once we finished primary school, our options were, gosh, there were so few. There were really, really very few options available. Like, I went to see a number of secondary schools, and the headmaster would say, oh yeah, we'll take your child, but he'll be sitting with an adult all day in a corner, and he'll be excluded from the rest of the class for 80% of the day. So, it wasn't where I wanted Michael to go. So in the end, we opted to go the special needs route, and we went to a special needs unit in a mainstream school, which he was integrated for music and drama and art and some of the activities, and then some of the activities as a group, they did them in the special needs unit. It wasn't a choice. It was the only choice we had. And then when you hit 18, when a child with Down syndrome hits 18, you're into adult services, and you're being asked to go here and to go there. And to be honest, I fought the system quite a bit because I knew what was best for Michael. I knew what he was interested in. And I'm happy to say now, like 2 years on in his new centre, he is in the best place he's ever been in his entire life. Wow. They have everything that interests him. They've music, they've art, they've drama, they have Alexa, they've big televisions, they have out and about, they've healthy eating. And the key workers are young. They're like young people who can interact with our children, Yeah. I mean, the other issues in the book I've covered are like speech therapy issues, things like birthday parties in primary school. The kids would come in with invitations to birthday parties, and when I go to collect Michael, he'd be crying. I'd say, Michael, what's wrong? And he'd say, no party, Mum, no party. So most of the kids in the class would have got an invitation to the birthday party, but he wouldn't. And I suppose parents don't think about that, like to be excluding a child, maybe thinking the child might be difficult, where in fact the child is probably the best behaved child in the classroom. But I took it up in school, and I said, look, I think it's unfair. Party invitations should be given out privately. Maybe give them out when they're going home. Don't give them out in front of the class because it's so upsetting. So there are things like that I suppose come to light, and it's only when you live through them you realize how hurtful they are,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a little bit of an inside knowledge. My late brother James, God rest him, growing up with a brother with special needs as well, you have a bit of a different insight, and I'm really happy that I believe in Ireland in 2020. It's a lot different and a lot kind of more advanced, I suppose, than it was in the 90s and the 80s. But still, so much to go. And one thing I'd say, Avril, is I'd love to probably help you some more with the book is, as you said, the first draft, like. We've got a beautiful couple, friends of ours, of our academy as well, Liz and Kevin, in England, and little baby Caroline is just a treasure. And growing up with them and kind of watching that journey as well, we understand the challenges, and this whole world has adapted so much to an unforeseeable situation, but we've adapted. And that's one thing I noticed with my daughter, Layla, my 3 kids go to my old primary school, and there's a wonderful child that goes there, Sean, and the whole community and the whole school, they work really well with Sean. He's really integrated. They sit together, mainstream, everything is going so far as I can see from my outside opinion. It looks like our primary school does a great job, and he's just a great boy, and his family are a fantastic family. And I just see that we're really adaptable. And I think if we're just allowed to be part of it, you know, like they need to talk to the Irish, to the people. Like we're in Ireland, so we can talk to the Irish community here. But I think people just need to say, did you know that that's actually a problem? And I think your book is going to do that. Do you know that this is actually a problem for us? Like if we're not asked to the, you know, maybe ask me, would he like to come along and let me make that decision with you? But don't just exclude him because you don't know how to do it. It's so easy. And I used to see with my friends, you know, we'd be walking along and I'd see funny looks because I was holding James's hand. Like, so he was our age and all the lads were, but you're walking around holding your teenage brother's hand. There were small little things, but they do get to you at that age. And I think there's an awful lot that we just don't talk about that is so simple and so powerful. And we're really, people have a huge capacity for change, for adaptation, for understanding, for compassion, for what's the word, cooperation. Like if you make it clear to a school, like you can actually, June works very much with every single school my wife has been involved in Galway or in Kerry. She's helped them to get funding to create a unit if it wasn't there, and if it was there, to enhance the unit. And that's what she's doing right now as I speak. She's in Killarney working in the unit there. And, you know, you can actually, unfortunately, you can have people saying, oh, is this going to hamper my child's progress? You know, and it's such a funny thought process, because it doesn't, you know, it's not an intrusion, or it's not going to take, it actually enhances their life in 1,000 more ways than they could possibly imagine. I really, really feel it does. And I think your book is going to, I believe what I'm seeing in the chat here, it's already getting people thinking and inspiring people, Avril, you know?
Well, the book is focusing on ability rather than disability.
Yeah.
It's the ability of everybody, there's good in everybody, and it's focusing on how to bring that to the surface and how to focus on the ability of your child with additional needs. They have amazing ability.
Yeah. Absolutely. We talked about that. We had a quick little chat beforehand before we went live, and we were both sharing how James and Michael have the same capacity for just a profound honesty and an intuition. It's like, I don't like that person. I don't want to hang around with that person. I'm away. And that's I love that. It's kind of awkward, but it's great. It's this lovely honesty that I miss in him. You know, it's like, I don't like this place, or I don't like this person, I want to go. And he would just take me by the hand, and he'd be like, let's go. I don't want to talk to this person that you're politely speaking to for a bit too long. Let's go to the shop. You know, it's funny. So Avril, let me just check our time, because you and I could talk all day. Sure, fine. Come here. Why on Wednesday? Oh, before I go into that, you said there was something else this morning, and I goes, don't tell me till we're live on air. So what happened this morning?
So this morning I came across a guy, a retired gentleman who lives 10 minutes away from us, who had just written a children's book, a beautiful children's book, and he had beautiful illustrations in it. I thought they're gorgeous, because I want to get an illustrations done for my book. And I just complimented him on it, and he says, oh, thanks very much. And then I asked him, did he do the illustrations himself? And he says, yeah, I'm retired now. I just enjoy doing it as a pastime. And it clicked immediately. So I friended him, and I've messaged him. And he said he only does them for his own books, but he'd love to help me out. So I'm going to talk to him later on today about the book, and perhaps he might be able to do all the illustrations for me, which would be wonderful.
Listen, I was thinking about getting some apparel for the company, and one of the things I'm going to get is a T-shirt with the logo on it, and it's going to say, "How do you want it to be?" So it's going to be a real eye catcher. People are walking around, "How do you want it to be? What does that mean on your shirt?" And then our clients will be able to go, "Well, I was studying with this Kerry fella called Declan, and he was saying that, how do you want it to be?" So you just said, I met this illustrator, and maybe perhaps, you know, well, you don't have to answer right now on the screen, but have a think about it. Why did you meet him today, and how do you want it to be? And let's keep this going. So Avril, I'm going back to the question I was going to ask, and thank you for saving that other good news. It's great how you see the way it just keeps going. In my live masterclasses, I'll take June's string of pearls out of the bedroom, and I'll show how one thing connects to the next thing and connects to the next thing. And on Wednesday, you said to me, well, I'll wait now and I'll discuss it with the girls next week in the mastermind. And I was like, next week? No, that's a week. Like, a week is a lifetime. Do it now. And you're like, well, I want to be ready. Do it now. So if you did wait, if you didn't say that to me, that pearl would have gone to the next pearl. Like, I'll wait till next week. You would have done that. Then they would have said, I don't know, and look, I'll think about it and I'll talk to you next week. There's another week. So when I just said take action, the little gentle push, you took action. Then the whole Done Stores conversation happened. The publishers emailed you yesterday morning, not last week, not next week, yesterday, like right around the time when you're in the vibration. And now the illustrator today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This interview, if you look throughout the Thoughts Become Things page, there's none of these interviews. This is the first one. I think it's the first one I've done. Again, pure intuition, it works. So, Avril, with everything that you've learned from September to the present day, why on Wednesday were you indecisive again? Why did you find, why were you waiting?
I suppose it's not good enough, keeps coming through your head. Is it good enough? Am I good enough? Do I need a few more days to think about this before? And it's like what I said in the very beginning, Declan. I have missed so many opportunities in the past because of being so indecisive.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you pushed me to moving now. Now I'm in the throw of it. I have to keep going.
Well, it's a keep going. Yeah, but it's a labor of love now, because they are going to show a massive expression. Everyone, I believe it. I believe everyone here believes it too. I think they're going to be very positive about it. And if they're not, if Duns are not, then that's meant to be, and the other publishers come on for a reason. So there's a new energy about it now. You want to get the cover done, and you've bits you need to do, right? But you're doing it now with a lovely feeling. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm certainly more confident now that I've put it out.
Yeah.
I'm no longer indecisive about where am I going to do it or when am I going to do it. It's done now. Like, it's out there with the universe. I believe now it's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen.
That's stunning. Well, let me take a minute to read some comments and give you and I a little break from talking here for 1 sec, because I want people to see you hearing these live. So Megan says, while she was saying welcoming everyone to our wonderful chat. I read out Avril's one, or Alan's one already. Megan says, great to see you, Avril, and to hear your story. Sheila, Avril's an amazing lady. I love her support. Now it's Pow Claire, but I know Claire, it's Claire Power. So how are you? And she says, actually, I'm going to be signing up for the course tomorrow, and I love your live chats, Declan. Well, thank you, Claire. And yeah, I was going to say a little bird told me, but he's actually a giant Croatian man told me you're joining. So I'm really grateful and excited to work with you. Hello, Kerry Joyce, and Leanna's here. Leanna says, wow, Avril, the kindness, that it really comes true. Megan tagged Liz on it then, so I'm sure Liz and Kevin will watch this back. Sheila says it's fantastic about Duns. Michael Cross says, loving your story. Jane, wonderful Jane, fantastic, Avril, I'm delighted for you. Now wait till you hear, this is the one I caught my eye that I really wanted to read out. I want you to let this in as well, Avril, right? Leanna says, you are going to be on the TV soon talking about this book, and I can't wait to buy it.
Lovely.
Nice,
I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Leanna, you've just got yourself a signed copy. I think that you got yourself, but I want you to buy it. Marguerite, well done, Avril. Grateful for your words of wisdom and encouragement. Liz is here. Oh, brilliant. Hey, Liz. She goes, I'm watching along. Derek says, good afternoon. Our wonderful rap artist and dancer, Mr. Derek. Great. Just like you, a big shining light in our group of clients. So Leanna says, she was about the conversation we were having. She goes, it actually gives other kids in class more benefits. My daughter has learned a bit of sign language, and I absolutely love it. It's such a huge topic; it needs to be talked about. Fair play, Leanna. I totally agree. A very aspiring lady, Avril is, and I'm privileged to know her through this academy. Megan says it's fabulous. John O'Reilly's here. Hello, John. Marietta is there. Hi, Marietta. Great to talk to you. And Claire says, yes, I'm excited. So great. There's some comments. Avril, how does it feel when you hear somebody saying, I think this is going to be on television? How does that feel?
It feels real. It feels real. I'm ready for it.
Yeah,
I am ready for it.
Like, you've sat at home like myself, and we've had a cup of tea, and we've had the Ireland AM or the daytime TV, and people are there, but they're like, we look at them and we kind of think they're different to us, don't we? The person who's on the couch with Dahi O'Shea, we think it's someone who's different, don't we?
I suppose we do, really, but we all have the ability in ourselves to do what we want to do once we believe in ourselves. And believing in yourself is the first step to success.
Yes. And do you think you're always going to be ready to make a decision?
I am much faster at making decisions now.
Yeah.
On a professional level, work-wise, I have absolutely no doubt about making decisions. Probably it was on the personal side, I was slower. But I now have a lot of faith in myself. I believe in myself. I trust myself. My instinct is good. I have done a lot of studying.
Yes, you have.
The studying has been going in, and you know, some of the lessons have had great impacts on me. And you know, when you start putting the lessons into your life and working them around your life, you start seeing huge changes. You become such a calm person. You become such a nice person. You become a person who sees the good in everything and who only wants to see the good in anything. When a negative thought comes into your head, you're now razor sharp to get rid of it as quick as it comes.
Yeah.
So you're vibrating on all different levels, and unknown to yourself over the couple of months that I've been doing TIR, it's all gradually happened.
Yeah.
It's been gradual, and it's been easy.
Yeah, it's true. We're really grateful to have welcomed a lot of people from last week's masterclass, and that's been my you know, I spoke to a gentleman yesterday up in Mayo, and I spoke to lots of different people for our first call, and I was like, listen, take this slow. You know, everybody's like, oh, I've invested now, I need 6 months, and I need to take off fast, and it's the opposite. The slower we go, the faster this comes. The easier your results come to you. Slow it down and think properly. Like, we'll drink something, and if it's not tasting right, we'll spit it up, you know. Or if we saw something, I made a big salad there for myself and Layla, and I was looking through to make sure it's very organic. So I was like, hopefully there's no little worms or bugs. And I'm going through it because I don't want to eat them. But people are just consuming trash ideas about themselves and limitations. Like, Avril, you were convinced after watching our masterclass in September, and you were like, I'm convinced and I'm ready, let's do it. But your decision making has improved a lot. But I just want to kind of point out, I suppose, we're here now having this conversation because of you still need that little push on Wednesday. So, you know, even though you've studied and even though you learned a lot, we get these glass ceilings, don't we? We get these kind of individual ceilings where I am still limited. But do you understand now, after what's happened from between Wednesday and now, that you don't need everything to be ready, that you just need to feel the fear, just go anyway, and the stuff starts to come. Do you notice that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, I'm learning every day, Declan. Every day I'm learning more and more, and I'm seeing more and more. And yes, you don't need to look for the how. You just need to believe in yourself. Yeah. Believe in yourself, trust in your ability, look at your creativity, and trust your instincts.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we, you know, we don't even need to be creative, because everything that we're seeking is seeking us as well. And sometimes, you know, the minute you made that decision to follow my lead on Wednesday, you've had Wednesday success, Thursday success, and an extra bit today. And look, we're going to bring this in for a little bit of a landing. But one thing I want to say to everybody that's listening is, Avril is, like, a year from now, Avril, when the book is published and it's in the hands of everybody, you're still only scratching the surface of your potential. Everybody watching this, whether you're with us in the academy or not, even an academy graduate, I'm scratching the surface of what I know I'm capable of. But if I go back 5 years ago, the lad I was 5 years ago would get sick with the thoughts of what's happening in my life right now. It's like, how all the stuff I'm going to need to be able to cope with that success is like, no, you actually don't. You actually don't, Declan. That's what I'd say to him. And that's what I'd say to you, the lady who called me last Wednesday, probably thought we were going to have a nice soft conversation. A year from now, Avril, you're not going to be ready either. You know, you're never ready. You just got to follow that dream. You got to go after it. Everyone and everything you need it's going to actually come in your direction the minute you step in the direction of it. So I'd like to finish by saying you've one other part of your goal that I want to see happening. Not the book, another thing that's going on. So are you okay with putting that out there? Cool, let's go.
We have a house overseas in Croatia, a very large house, which we no longer use. And if anybody's interested in investing in a property in Croatia, it's up for sale, ready to go.
Yeah.
That is my next goal.
Don't tell them the price, because we'll work on that.
You don't worry about the how.
Exactly.
Declan. Don't worry about the how.
Yeah, but it's great. It's a great rate. Like, that's what I'm saying. But it's a great investment. It's in a great place. And I just said, you know what, Avril, whether you like it or not, I'd like you to say that on the call the next day, because we have 1,000 people in this group, and they're listening, and they're here for a reason. And do you know what? You and I will be long gone, and that book is still going to be benefiting a lot of people. So it's not really always about us. I didn't step out of my comfort zone. For me, we've the likes of Sheila and Leanna and Jane and all these people. I know they've benefited a lot from my decision to get uncomfortable. I still get uncomfortable. I messaged a woman today, and I sent her about 4 or 5 voicemails, and I told her I was uncomfortable doing it, but I just didn't want her to think we had forgotten about her. Getting uncomfortable is really good. It helps you to discover a whole new way of life, often with just one decision. So I'm grateful you made the decision to join us. I'm grateful you agreed to do what you did on Wednesday. I'm grateful that you set this call up. I'm grateful you set this call up, that you agreed to take this call with me today when I asked you. And thank you for everything you shared with us. And it might be the first of a few conversations, because I think everyone's going to be watching along and rooting for you, Avril. And again, if you're somebody in our group, and if you feel that you have any connection or any kind of contribution you can help Avril with to make this book take place, and of course, if you want to buy the house in Croatia as well, let's go, because I really want to see this lady achieve everything that she put her mind to, because she's just gives and gives and gives, and deserves all of the success that it is going to come to you. So, Avril, before I say goodbye, I have a couple of more comments here. Amazing. Megan here says, Avril, you're amazing. You are ready, Avril Smith. I'm so excited for you, and your journey is unfolding. Mike Cott sends his wishes too. Liz, belief is the key. Michael Cross, he's such a fan of this material. He's like, your book is already a bestseller. Mike as well. Avril, you're an absolutely amazing woman, says Mike Cott. Dervla Bulger's here. Hi, Dervla. Good to see you again. Jane, you're just so wonderful to listen to, Avril. You're inspiring, you're kind, positive, and you're on a great and exciting journey. And Marion Foley's here as well. Hi, Marion. All right. Well, look, let's leave it at that for now. Avril, I agree with Michael. It is a bestseller. Molly commented here. I didn't see it. Sorry, Molly. Avril, you're such a beautiful lady. Michael is a lucky guy to have you as his guide through life. I can't wait to read this book and to see it on the shelves. It's going to inspire us all. Hang on, I want to show it again there. Sorry, Molly. Sorry, yeah, it says, Avril, you're such a beautiful lady. Michael's a lucky guy to have you as his guide through life. I can't wait to read your book and see it on the shelves. It'll inspire us all even more to aim for our goals. So Molly is with us as well in the Academy, and it'll be an amazing and tiny part of your journey. Thank you. That's very nice, Molly. Thank you. Yeah, your book's already a bestseller. It's coming in here from lots of different people. So Sheila Kelly, thanks for sharing, Avril. I see your book in every bookshop. Somebody else, you've got this, Avril. The very best is going to come to you. I totally agree. Yvonne Donoghue, Avril, you're so inspiring. Oh, Laura here. I'm sitting by the sea with a big smile on my face. You're amazing, Avril. So yeah, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
It takes one to know one. Yeah, Laura's amazing too. You're well matched. I'm not surprised you formed a good friendship. You're two absolutely brilliant women, brilliant people. All right, guys, let's leave it at that. I could stay with this love in forever here, but we're going to go back to our Friday. I've got a walk to do with my eldest daughter, and in a device-free walk. We're going to walk in the nature and stuff. So, Avril, thank you. Thank you for inspiring me. Thank you for inspiring me as well over the last few months, and I'm looking forward to watch the rest of this journey, okay?
Lovely. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye. See you on the Late Late Show.
Bye.